There's a one-legged bird who's standing on the street.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am your host, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve. And this dystopian futuristic year of 2023 is getting into the home stretch. We're like more than halfway through with September. Pretty soon, you know, the 1, 2, 3 punch of the big state-sanctioned holidays, copyright somebody else, I didn't make that up, it's gonna be upon us. And also, as of filming, it's getting close to the deadline of me trying to stick to putting up videos every Saturday. So I gotta start filming something. So, let's see, last week I was talking about a thread that kind of came and went. Of 10 songs that you hate. And, I saw a couple people jump on that, but then it just kind of fizzled. Because hate is not the answer, man. It's love. It's love. What are some songs I used to hate, or either maybe not as strong as hate, but what are songs I used to hate that I've kind of warmed up to over the years? And so I'll talk about a couple of those, because we're getting on another band named after a place, along with Asia and Chicago, and that could be a whole nother video. But this is a song that it comes on and people go, oh no, not this again. But there's kind of a little in joke with the Final Countdown about when I was working at Tower Records, and like the last day before they shut down the store, they kept cranking up this song on the speakers every time they made an announcement over the intercom, and it became kind of a joke. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is, a lot of your subjective opinions about songs come from memories. Like innocuous Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. And, this brings back memories of when I was at a certain radio station, certain collage radio station in the 80s, when I thought I knew everything because I listened to punk rock once. And long story short, we were playing this song about a year before it became the big hit that it was, and it was that we discovered this band because their guitarist was Kimberly Rue, who was in the band Soft Boys with Robin Hitchcock. And it's like, oh, he's got a new band. But yeah, it got to the point where every time you turn on the damn radio, you were hearing Walking on Sunshine, and you just wanted to shove your head down the toilet so you didn't have to hear it. See, that's why the standards for music are lower these days. People with streaming and all the different options for playing music online, you're not tethered to the radio. People aren't hearing songs against their will as much as they used to. I mean, unless you're in a certain corporate-run chain store trying to shop or something. So the sensation of just having a song just forced upon you and making you want to rebel and find some punk rock or something, not so much today. Today you can make a playlist of every kind of frickin' music that you could possibly find. And, I like how the gatekeeperism of the 80s and 90s has kind of become passe, because that closed as many doors as it opened for a lot of music. But at the same time, man, in the chamber of hello, hello. This was a Bay Area band, Wire Train, and they were originally called the Renegades. So another case of a band that changed their name so they could sign the contract. But also just kind of memories of me falling out with some folks at the radio station. There's another just hearing "I Do You" or whatever every time I turn on the radio was just got kind of grating. But I pulled out this record and listened to it, and it's a good kind of new wave, early '80s power pop kind of thing. They had some good tunes, and everybody loves the '80s now. It's kind of spawned the seeds of the bleak political climate that we're living in today. But you look at you know you look at a bunch of goobers storming the White House because and then you get nostalgic for Ronald Reagan insulting your intelligence on TV. But you gotta serve somebody. It may be the devil, it may be the Lord, it may be someone at a drive-through window that is gonna smash through it if they don't get their nuggets. But you're gonna have to serve somebody. Hey, Steve, are you all still tripping because you think you ran out of ideas for your video? Oh, that's cute, Mr. Gopher. I never run out of ideas because I never run out of records. Ow, my eye! What are you doing? Let's see if. Oh, it's the Gopher from Caddyshack. Oh, it was Mr. Gopher from Caddyshack all along. Oh man, I feel like one of the Scooby Doo kids. You asshole! Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. No stairway. Denied. See, when I saw that in the theater, he actually played the first couple of notes of Stairway to Heaven on the Stratocaster, and that was the joke. But those Led Zeppelins are pretty persnickety about how much of their music gets to be in movies. So, for the video release, he was denied from playing Stairway to Heaven. So it kind of went full circle, don't you think? This Grotus. Grotus was a band from the Bay Area in the 90s. They were kind of on the industrial tip, kind of. I think back in the day, I saw them open for like Mr. Bungle one time. Plastic Land. Plastic Land's been coming up with a couple of my VC buddies, and I only had the Pink Dust album, but I found this for really cheap. This CD, I think it came out in like, I don't know, there's liner notes that were written in 2005. But this is a best of on the Ryko disc label. If you can see that. Yeah, it's a best of Plastic Land on the Ryko disc label with 30 songs. And they're one of those psychedelic revival bands from the 80s that were bringing back the fuzz. And they're a really good band that, judging on the low Spotify numbers of their plays, has not been remembered as much as they should. So check out Plastic Land. Another band that was kind of forgotten, Mofongo. This is their album, Frederick Douglass. They were kind of a post-punkish, kind of no-wave-ish band from the 80s. This album came out on Coyote Records in 1985. Produced by Elliot Sharp. And yeah, you can see the Reagan era. You know, the song titles kind of say it all. Ronnie thinks that he can rock and roll. Migrant assembly line workers, don't shoot that junk into your arm again. Don't. Seriously, don't. Let's see. On the Road to Freedom, Alvin Lee and Mylon Lefevre. And this is a record that I didn't really know about this record until a few years ago when Alvin Lee, the guitarist, frontman from 10 Years After, when Alvin Lee passed away, suddenly this album was getting talked about a bunch on a lot of music blogs that I read. So I picked this up. And it's good. It's not as hard and bluesy as 10 Years After. It's got some kind of laid back rock songs with little bits of blues and country influences sprinkled in. It is a good record. Tasmanian Devils. I think I saw them play at a high school event, and I don't really remember what they even sounded like. I guess a little bit of a reggae influence with this kind of low rent Huey Lewis in the News. I'll get back to you on the Tasmanian Devils. Okay, and Trini Lopez. I mean, I had Trini Lopez's live albums when I was a kid. That gets into some of my dad's records that I forgot to talk about when I did the thing about my dad's records, which maybe I will revisit that. But I had the live Trini Lopez, Latino folk rock guy from the early 60s. And this album has his version of Lemon Tree, which I learned about from Seinfeld.
Okay, I got it. I'll sing.
What song?
You pick it.
Lemon Tree.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh, Trini Lopez.
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flowers.
We intend to cause havoc. That is what the letters in Which, the band from Africa, Which stand for. Introduction, I guess this is their first record, and it's good. They recently kind of reformed, and they were doing stuff. Noble Records was talking about that like a while ago. But if you have not heard this great Zamrock band, Which, you need to get on it. And, maybe spend a night in Tunisia while you're on that continent. Dizzy Gillespie and his orchestra. There were a lot of eras of Dizzy Gillespie after he left Charlie Parker's bebop combo and was replaced by a young dropout named Miles Davis. Dizzy went on. He did kind of Latin jazz, big band stuff afterwards, which is kind of what's collected on this record. Verve Special Products. But he's the man. He's the man that bent the trumpet upwards. And I don't know if it's a big deal, but I guess that's a misprint. It's tangerine instead of tangerine. But yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
People don't know this, but this is actually the right way to eat a cinnamon roll. We start by unraveling it from the center. And
that is not the correct way to eat a cinnamon roll. That is not the way you're supposed to do it. That is some false ass information about the cinnamon roll, and I don't appreciate it. You're gonna have all these goofy ass children walking around eating the cinnamon rolls the wrong way. That is not correct information. You're supposed to eat the cinnamon roll like that. You're supposed to eat the cinnamon in a row like that. What the hell wrong with you?
Okay, so to kind of bring it full circle with something I was talking about a couple weeks ago, I got two records that have been just sitting in a certain bargain bin for like months and months, waiting for me to buy them because I knew what they were, and I don't think anybody else knew what they were. One was this Tasmanian Devils, which back when I was like 15 or something, I saw them live. And the other is the Innocents, which again, when I was in high school, I saw them the one time they were on TV. They had a TV special. So the question is, which one of these records was better? I thought it might be this one, but actually, I like the Innocence record a little bit better.
Oh, show and tell. It's just a game I play when I want to show you some records. So like and subscribe, and you'll see them next time too. Oh, baby. So yeah, there were a few other records that came from my dad that I forgot to talk about when I did that video a few weeks ago. Like George and Teddy. Of course, they're listed as Teddy and George on the cover. It says George and Teddy on the back. They were a nightclub act. They did some rock and roll songs, told some jokes in between. They performed at the Condor, the infamous Condor Strip Club on Broadway.
here in San Francisco. And this is the first album on Mammoth Records, Live at the Condor. Teddy and George, or George and the... Bleh. Well, anyway, they went full rock and roll, and I think they went to L.A. Later on they called their band George and Teddy and the Condors, as kind of an homage to their early nightclub days. That's pretty cool stuff. All right, this is totally fried because this is the actual old copy. Trini Lopez, more Trini Lopez live at PJ's. And this is a goodie. It's got, you know, Kansas City and Green, Watermelon Heart. But anyway, this is like my 3-year-old brother's scribbling on here. It appears to be autographed. So I don't know. I guess he saw Trini Lopez. This is another one that I really dug when I was like 5 years old. This is Movin' by Bill Black's Combo on the High Records label out of Memphis. That you know, the original copies of Al Green Records were on this High label. But anyway, Bill Black was Elvis Presley's bass player in his early rockabilly days. And he went on to form Bill Black's Combo and make these instrumental records for the teenagers to dance to. Last but not least, I talked about this one before, so I'm going to be quick. Rick Sings Nelson by Ricky Nelson. And this was one of his early country rock albums. I mean, he was the kid on the Ozzie Nelson TV sitcom in the 50s, and then he had some hit songs like Hello, Mary Lou and Lonesome Town. But then he made, you know, Garden Party was a big hit. This album didn't really have any big hits, but it's got some good songs. And the fringe-ometer is off the chart with this jacket he's wearing. Okay then, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and peace.